Welcome to Crypt Theory, where we go over the supernatural, the paranormal, and the dark histories of our world. Let's get into it. Today, we're talking about cheese. Specifically, the United States cheese. Yeah, going to the JFK assassination to cheese, I mean, it's just right, you know? Relatively same time, anyways. Yeah, let's if you don't know what I'm talking about, the U.S. has a big cheese reserve from back in the day. That's all I'll tell you, and I'll tell you all the facts later in the video. But anyways, I'm gonna do my little bit. Make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell down below. I'll post notifications. I'm posting not every Wednesday. The first Wednesday and the third Wednesday of every month, and the first and 31st, 30th. The first and the last day of the month will be cryptid videos if you're here for those, not the conspiracy theories. But honestly, if you're interested in cryptids, you're usually interested in conspiracy theories. Like, what you doing? Come on. And the first Wednesday of every month, and the third Wednesday of every month will be a conspiracy, horror related, something in that realm, a video. But anyways, let's this isn't what you're here for, but let's get into what you're here for. Let's do it. And so, we're going to go into something very interesting about just, man, what are we doing as a country? Like, the random things that happen are crazy, you know? But anyways, we all know U.S. has the love for cheese, from classic American cheese slices to fancy artisan variants. Cheese is a staple of many American diets, but there's a secret behind it. Of all things, it's cheese. Why? Anyways, so this is the most interesting part of it. Our story begins 1970s. Odd. Who was in office in the 1970s? That's a good question. I'm thinking maybe Reagan. I'm thinking Reagan here. Who was Okay, so it was Nixon. Reagan was later. I got my things flipped. But so it begins in the 70s. Dairy farmers were facing a crisis. Milk prices were plummeting, and there was an oversupply of milk. What was the government to do? That means the economy was going to crash. They don't want that now. And citizens don't want that, let's be real. Money is money, man. Money is money. But anyways, enter the Commodity Credit Corporation, a government entity that started buying up excess dairy products to support struggling farmers. By the 1980s, the CCC has stockpiled up mountains of cheese. Yeah, I'm not kidding either. They have literal caves in the U.S. filled with cheese. the U.S. as a country will never, at this rate, won't run out of cheese for a hot minute. Like, I'm talking hundreds upon hundreds of years, we will not run out of cheese. As the United States will not run out of cheese. In 200 years from now, we will still have cheese. From the 1980s. Yeah. Okay. The government, of course, it's always with the government. Good lord. Storage supplies surplus cheese in various locations, including massive underground storage facilities. One of the most famous is the Cheese Cave in Springfield, Missouri. It's like something out of an Indiana Jones movie, except of agent artifacts and puff puff powder. It is wheels and pallets of cheese. So, you ask, what did the government do with all this cheese? They couldn't let it go to waste. In the 80s, the Reagan administration decided to distribute the cheese to the public. Thus, the government cheese program was born. This processed cheese was handed out low-income families across the country. It was both the solution to the surplus and a means to providing food and assistance. A picture of the cheese thing that they were handing out will be right here. But anyways, let's go. And that's it. I mean, it's a means to a good end, handing out some food for assistance for lower income, poor families. That's a really good thing to do, especially at that time. There was a pure division between middle, higher, and lower class. If you were lower class, you were poor, and middle class and higher class were. So, any two ways. For many, government cheese became a symbol of the times. It was iconic. You either loved it or hated it. But here's the thing. Here's where things get interesting. Some people started to question the quality and origins of this cheese. Was there something more sinister going on? Or was the government really just trying to help? Or was there another agenda? Cheese, the government handing out cheese for free. Let me recap this. For free to people, had people questioning if it was for a political agenda. Honestly, not surprised. Or something else bad. Like, to be fair, if the government is giving out free cheese to the poor, there might be something going on. I don't doubt the speculation, but it's free food. Come on now. Anyways, so this was interesting. Let's dive into the wild, crazy conspiracies that have emerged over the years. One theory suggests that the government cheese was a way to control the population, a kind of cheesy mind control, if you will. Gotcha there, didn't I? The idea is the additives or preservatives in the cheese would have had effects on who consumed it regularly. Sounds a bit like the plot from a sci-fi novel. Yeah. That or the cheese touch. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's the 80s, right? Not many people like I don't know. I wasn't there. I can't really talk on this. But it was the 80s, so that time frame was a bit interesting. to say, especially with politics and stuff, with Reagan being in office, being super old, and just how everything was ran. But another theory points that the cheese program was a means to prop up the dairy industry at any cost, regardless of health implications for the public. Critics argue that processed cheese, which is high in sodium and fats, contributed to the health issues of lower income populations who relied on it. There could be some truth. I'm not saying like this is a complete conspiracy. This is more of a to prop up the dairy industry at any cost. To an extent, I kind of see them doing that to make sure dairy farmers don't run out of money because how dairy runs the markets, especially today. Dairy runs the markets very heavily. And even not just dairy anymore, but at the time in the early 2000s, maybe even early 2010s, early to late 2010s, like dairy ran the market. Like that is a huge part of a lot of different food companies and markets nowadays. This is also the time where you'll see the ads of Got Milk. And a bunch of milk ads started coming out with the it's good for your bones and stuff like that. That is also a lot of when the ads came out where they used popular athletes at the time among kids to say got milk ads. They started selling milk in schools. They still do today. All the way from elementary to high school, you'll see that a lot. Fast forward to today. And believe it or not, cheese surplus hasn't completely gone away. The USDA still buys up excess cheese to support dairy farmers, and we still have stockpiles of cheese. In 2016, it was reported that the U.S. had a cheese surplus of 1.39 billion pounds. An elephant weighs 7 tons. That is 9,928 and a half elephants. That is a lot of cheese. That is enough cheese to wrap around the moon twice. The government has continued to find ways to distribute and manage this surplus from school lunch programs to food banks, and the government cheese isn't as prevalent as it once was. The legacy of those cheese caves remain curious footnote in American history. What wouldn't be a bad idea? Just hear me out. Hear me out on this. Cheeseland USA. The United States government finds a location in all 50 states that they can build a big theme park in, and it be cheese themed. Now, I don't think it will profit. And it is probably a stupid idea. That's why they haven't done it. But hear me out. Do you know how many people that would just be curious to see what it is? The one-time experience. Have good freaking rides in there. Have amazing rides in there. Have the most fun roller coasters. Have a kids land. Do it like a Universal-esque or Disney-esque type thing. Make it relatively cheap so your lower income families can go as well as like a little trip. Maybe you turn a profit. Maybe. But it could solve the issue of all the cheese. That's the solving point. I think I might have just solved the cheese crisis within about a minute and a half. They're not gonna listen. They're not probably never gonna do that. You never know though. If they do, I'm claiming it. I am copywriting it and I am suing. Kidding. Honestly. Yeah, no. I'm not winning that. The impact on pop culture. Government cheese has also found its way into pop culture. It's been referred in songs, movies, TV shows that offer symbolizing struggles and resilience of lower income families. It's amazing how simple food item can carry so much cultural weight. The most cultural food in America? Not Coca-Cola. Not Pepsi. Not Dr. Pepper. Not, let's see, not greasy, deeply fried foods that don't need to be fried. It's cheese. Cheese runs the American government. And cheese runs the economy. That's pretty much it. The U.S. government made it so cheese runs the U.S. economy. Can you complain though? Yes, you can. Any problems you have down the road, blame it on the cheese. Don't blame it on the government. Blame it on the government and the cheese. But anyways, time to wrap this up here. A little short conspiracy breakdown for you. If you want to see in-depth conspiracy breakdowns, I will be going into some of those, mainly assassinations. I have big conspiracies around them, different UFO sightings, and all that stuff. So if you want to see that, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell, comment down below anything I might have missed. Ideas for new videos, ideas for new cryptids down the line. But anyways, I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.